need these anymore.
Oh yeah, we don't need these anymore.
And they don't make it like this anymore.
Dude, honestly, this week I have not really been paying much attention to sports. I'm gonna be honest with you.
You know what I've been paying attention to? All the people moving in and out of our neighborhood.
Oh, is that what you texted me about?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about it?
I don't know, like Chieftain's kind of like a weird name for a moving company until you realize that they have a lot of history about moving across the country. I was like walking, I was like, man, they'll just make a logo out of anything. And then I was like, well, like,
Well, this kind of makes
I guess it
sense.
makes sense.
Well, welcome back to the MattCast. I'm Matty Light. By Matty Heavy, my co-host. This is the
By the
MattCast.
way, you know, I don't condone the actions.
Oh, what the? Yeah, but like first, like I've been. It's spring training. We're hitting that like lull in sports. Like
Yeah.
hockey's just kind of picking up.
Well, they just got out of their All-Star break. I've been
Yeah,
watching some of their games, like
basketball honestly hasn't been that exciting this
the
year. Other
college basketball.
college basketball has had some exciting games,
Oh,
but
but
like
you're just talking about basketball.
basketball in general, kind of like there's nothing really that's kind of like standing out to me whenever I look. And like whenever we pull it up on ESPN or Hulu, it's just like it doesn't look like any good games going on.
I wish we had the expertise of clipping in clips
Mhm.
because whenever you like we had Hulu, I immediately thought of me drunk.
Oh yeah,
We
we
have
got Hulu.
Hulu.
We don't got Paramount,
We got Hulu.
but we got Hulu. ESPN, we got
We
Hulu.
got Hulu.
Um, dude, my hair's all sorts of fucky right
That's
now.
why I was wearing a hat today, man.
Oh, fuck it.
I haven't showered
Yeah, me
since after
neither.
the gym.
Yeah, I had a pretty bad leg day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like 365 was fucking killing me. Like I had to do one rep, pause, like put it back, re-rack it, then do another one. Like last week and the 2 times before that, I was able to rep them out pretty good.
Honestly, I was just so focused on my own head stuff
Yeah,
that I wasn't even
I mean that's fair. I was
watching.
really trying to go for 385 today,
Yeah.
and it just wasn't happening. I
Do
guess
you think you're kind of hitting not a plateau, but just kind of like a little?
a little bump in the road. I
Yeah.
just need to work at the weight I'm at. I think 65 is just something like I'm gonna do it. Like even if it is just 1 or 2
Well,
reps.
you didn't say like a workout. You're like, I think my hips are
No, my
your
quads.
quads.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like when I was going, I was feeling them.
Do you think after like you do a little bit of rolling before?
So it's the best for before a workout. You
Mm,
want to do it afterwards to kind of like break up the knots and lactic acid.
gotcha.
Before you got to do like those like active stretching drills that we've been doing.
Yeah.
So maybe I should have done a little more of the quads today.
Yeah.
I was also just kind of excited to get into the workout though.
Not with two. I was ready to roll.
Um, yeah, just did not. I mean, and then even fuck like when I was doing the leg extensions at 255, like the week before, I
Mm.
was knocking them out, but this week it was kicking my ass. I was like, what the fuck?
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it just kind of pissed me off a little bit, and then yeah,
The
um,
sauna was kicking my ass today. I don't know why I had to just keep like I kept like heavy breathing. I was like, what the
yeah.
fuck am I heavy breathing for? Like
I
trying
honestly
to
was thinking
do.
of pushing it to 25 minutes, but I was just like,
I could have once I saw that we were past 20. I was like, okay, I could do 5 more
yeah.
minutes. But
I was just like, I wasn't feeling it at that point, and
yeah,
I just wanted to get home and fucking get
you know what
this.
I hate? I hate when like random strangers talk,
Yeah,
and because I feel like they talk so
they
loud.
really do. Like,
It's
at least
like
when we bullshit, we try and be
we're
quiet
to
and
each
like,
other.
yeah,
And like I don't have a problem if it's like you talking to like because there is some like when they're random people and they're
yeah,
like, hey man, I'm having a workout and like
yeah. I
shit
enjoy
like
that.
that.
Yeah,
Cool, man. I'm glad you have but like just don't talk so
yeah,
fucking loud,
yeah.
man.
It's it's very annoying sometimes when they fucking
And
just
I'm
sit
just
there and
cranking my
bullshit.
audiobook and then it's just
Yeah,
like in my fucking ear.
yeah.
But
Um, so there's one thing we talked about it last week, but the Omaha hockey team,
mm,
um, the people that are trying to fucking build up the stadium flew out to New York and like to meet with Gary Batman.
Gary Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little inside joke. So watch the streams next time.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, they went out and met with the commissioner and really pitched the idea for out in Gretna, out near the Alton Mall, which is not that far, but we were just talking about it too, like how far that drive
Yeah.
is. And it's not a terrible drive for us.
But they always have big plans like this, and I don't know, because like the where I work, they're trying to get us over there
Hmm.
so bad, and they're
Yeah.
telling us like all of the upgrade stuff that they're gonna do.
Hmm.
Now, say if they do fucking get the hockey team over there, I'd be kicking myself.
Yeah.
Not myself, I wasn't the one that made the call, but like the store is just like, man, we could have been like that close to the
Yeah.
stadium, work a couple hours shifts. I'm like,
Yeah.
just go
Yeah.
fucking
Let's
walk
go
over to,
watch it. Watch.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, there's a game going after work. Like, let's
yeah,
go. Or
let's
like the
go.
team meetings or stuff like that.
Yeah. But
But they came up with a name, and we were talking about like
they
names.
pitched the name. I'm not a
Yeah.
huge fan of it.
But
I get it because like you have the Omaha Union and they have an owl, and
yeah.
then there's the Lancers and they're the Knights. But
Yeah.
like my thing is like there's no history about fucking like knights or like medieval shit
Yeah.
in
Or
Nebraska.
owls. Yeah. I
Well,
mean,
owls is different because
because it was the Night Owls as the team,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that they pitched the name for.
KNI,
Yeah.
yeah. But there's
I'm
just
not
not
the
a.
biggest fan, but I understand
I'm
the
not a
history
huge
to it.
medieval themed guy
Yeah.
in general.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think it's just kind of like a
And
lazy
like the minor league team that they had in the 30s was called the Omaha
Omaha,
Knights,
and I
and
and I get it.
and then Omaha
Yeah,
Lancers. Like
yeah.
it kind of follows the same theme.
Yeah, and like I said, I get it. I
Mhm.
get it, but I don't know. I like when it kind of like makes sense.
Yeah,
Like
to the
Minnesota having
area.
the Vikings is because like a
Mhm.
lot of fucking people up there are like Nordic fucking
Yeah,
people. But like I don't know, just
yeah.
we're not exactly like medieval type
Mhm.
shit.
But I mean, they pitched the idea because Omaha has two pretty good hockey programs. We got the Omaha Lancers and the Mavericks.
I'd be all set for fucking more sports to come to Omaha, man.
Yeah, I'm
Like we only have like the College World Series.
Huskers,
Yeah, Huskers and Lincoln.
um,
Like
Mavericks.
occasionally there'll be the like swim trials or something like that.
Yeah, they'll have them at the.
The CHI. Yeah.
I always remembered at the CenturyLink.
Yeah,
Yeah,
CenturyLink or the Quest Center,
yeah.
whatever the fuck you want to call it.
It's been rebranded so many times.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the one big news coming out of that. And then the next thing that we saw or we talked about or showed was the manager teams or the manager basketball teams. And like
Yeah, so I don't know. To me, like
so like they take
explain that.
managers from like all of like these D1 schools teams. So like their
Mm.
football managers, basketball,
And it's like the Water Boys and
they're like
like
yeah, they do the admin stuff, the bitch work.
yeah,
And like they're an important part of the team, but like, for recreational better to create a program where like they get all the managers from across the NCAA and put them in a fucking what like 55 team like league,
bracket-ish.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the Final Four, they have them play before the Final Four starts, which I think is pretty cool. Like
It's cool. Like and I mean,
and like a lot of those managers, like one of them was an former Xavier walk on,
mm,
so like he was actually part of a D1 school, and he went
mm.
out there and fucking put in work. And so like you'll get a lot of the guys that like whether they were injured or something like that, they're really something for them to like kind of keep themselves going
Yeah.
um like if I had fucking at least made it to the college level,
Mm.
I probably would have ended up there at the manager
Yeah, the manager
because like
games.
yeah, I probably would have ended like I'm still athletic, but like I'm not the fucking same athlete as I was before. I probably never will be again. Like a little bit more in my personal life, but I've been talking to someone that was a college athlete, and she was a sprinter in college, and she sent me like some of her times, and it was like for her 100 meter that
I think I said she sent me some of her nudes. I was like,
uh,
all right, cool. I
no, but
guess
she
that
sent me she
pertains.
ran the 100 meter, 200 and 400. Her 100 meter was like 12.6 seconds, which way faster than me, and then um for her 200 was like 25 seconds, and then her 400 beat my time of minute flat. She had 58 seconds, which is fucking fast as shit. Even in my prime, I could probably never beat her at that running shit.
Mm.
And then I was asking her, like, do you think you could still do it now? And she's like, no. Not at all.
It's like, all right, when we're fucking, you're
Yeah.
on top.
No, 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 no. Not gonna lead that far. I'm a different person now.
Yeah.
Um, the next big one that I want to talk to you about that was the mystery fights for like UFC kind of shit.
Yeah, but that's like a fan like, oh, it'd be cool if that
What
would
would you
happen.
like? What would you see like if you could do it?
I
How would you
wouldn't.
run it?
I wouldn't.
You
What I
wouldn't?
would do,
Okay, why
well,
wouldn't you do it?
so like I would, if given the option, I would much rather do like a tournament style
Hmm.
with the UFC because they haven't done it in so long, and honestly, I just love that format where
Hmm.
just like a whole bunch of guys go in and
Like you get 12 fighters one night.
yeah,
That's all they're doing is fighting.
yeah. Well, probably not where they do multiple fights in one night, but just like that tournament, like where it's like, okay, you beat this guy, and
Yeah.
that's how you get like a Grand Prix champion. That always seems kind of fun because it's kind of
Hmm.
like you don't have to worry about the rankings or like if anyone gets hurt. Like it's
Hmm.
like okay, you know who you're gonna fight.
Yeah.
That's what the mystery fighting thing. I don't know, especially if it's like a pay per view. I'd hate to like pay money.
Yeah. And then have it be a dog ass fight. Because
It'd be a terrible fucking
that's
fight.
what I was gonna
Like
lead up to. Like, would it be a pay per view kind of deal or would it be a fucking fight night kind of deal?
with the amount of meticulous planning that the UFC and Dana White does, it would never happen.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make it like I don't even see the appeal in a fucking mystery fight.
Hmm.
Like it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, I don't like the
You
idea
don't
in
like
the
the idea.
slightest.
So
In the slightest.
in tournament, would it be like by weight class or would it
Yeah,
be
it would be
okay?
by yeah. So it would be like the heavyweight Grand Prix,
Hmm.
and I would do the top 12 ranked in the UFC and bracket them
Yeah.
out 1 to 12, 2 to
Hmm.
11, yada yada yada, and then like so you kind of assume that the number one guy is going to beat the number 12 guy,
Hmm.
and just kind of focus. But then there's going to be some upsets, and you go down the fucking
Yeah.
Grand Prix, and at the
And then
end you
you have
get
your
your
pay per view,
yeah.
fucking, or
I would
like
say
in the semifinals, put a pay per view, gonna
probably.
have two in a row.
Well, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Either that or like headlining, like.
Hmm.
But I mean, to me, that would just be cool to
Yeah.
just see an event like that.
Now, would it be like one after the other kind of like deal,
So the way they used to
or
do it
like
was
you go from
like,
heavyweight down to the next lower weight class, or
um, I would just do it with one weight
one a
class.
year kind of deal?
Yeah, because like that's a lot of weight
Yeah.
classes to
Because that was
do
gonna
it.
be my follow up. Like, how would you
So
like plan it out?
I would do one.
Like, if
Because
you and Dana White were in the
here's the thing.
conference meeting.
You can't have it be a huge bracket because like the very like elite fighters
Mhm.
fight like 3 times a year.
Yeah.
So you can't do like a massive bracket where they have
Mhm.
to like go
Yeah.
all the way down.
Like starting like into January, you have all the heavyweights for one fight night.
Yeah, I
Go
would
out
put them
there.
all on one card
Yeah.
and then try to do another card where it's
Like 3 4 months later down the line.
yeah, if all the fighters are ready to
Yeah.
go. But there's just so many factors. It's
Mhm.
one of those things that like I get why you do
Yeah.
it. I don't know.
Like it's like like if you're gonna go the hero thing, you're gonna get like, the doctors, if maybe
Like it's where
yeah.
everyone's like, "Holy shit,
Mhm.
this is happening."
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I'm buying the fuck, or like I'm so glad I
Yeah.
bought this. But it's also gonna just be really hard to do something because like people are gonna be in camps
Mhm.
and like the like
It's gonna
cutting
be hard to keep
weight.
it quiet.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah.
hard to fucking do it. Like unless they were like it's a mystery fight until like a week before.
Mhm.
the fight. If it's
Yeah.
like you find out the night of, that would
Mhm.
be so fucking hard.
Yeah.
That would be honestly probably impossible
Yeah.
to do.
To, like, have the fucking fighters
Yeah.
keep it quiet for that long.
Hmm.
Because what are the camps like? They're usually, like, 6 to 8 weeks or something
It
like that?
depends on the fighter.
Yeah.
They often do
In
different.
the weight class sometimes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. And how old they are. Sometimes
Yeah.
they're
Sometimes if they're older, they need a little bit more train up.
sometimes they
Or
don't.
it's the opposite where they're
Yeah.
like, "Okay, cool. I just need a couple weeks to get warmed up,
Hmm.
figure out my fighting strategy, and
Study the
then"
fit.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's yeah. It's but yeah. You usually like 6 to like 12 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
That would say the minimum to the maximum six
Yeah.
to twelve.
Because like, I know from, like, watching my brother wrestle and, like, from high school, the wrestlers I knew, I took off my shoes. Maybe that's the smell you're
Maybe.
fucking they're fucking
I
nasty.
thought it was me.
I was letting them marinate in my fucking I haven't taken them off.
Did you see? I was like,
Yeah, it was right after I took off my shoes too.
okay. I'm glad you
Like,
told me because I was in there like, it's like, damn, that's it.
it's like, "The new carpet really fucking"
Yeah.
it's
Like I
like, "They
know,
need to fucking come back here
I
and
was
fix this."
sure, I know I didn't wash it, but I didn't think it was
No,
gonna be that bad.
I've been letting my
Okay.
feet marinate in my fucking shoes.
Dude, this is the first day I've done the Converse. I
Mhm.
was like they're okay,
Yeah,
but I was ready to get them off.
yeah,
Like as
pretty
soon as I
fucking
got home,
quickly.
yeah, very quickly.
Um, and then I'm gonna save one for, like, our big main topic to kinda talk about,
Okay.
to kinda carry us through since we're in that weird stage of sports.
Well, can we hop on ESPN and just see if there's anything that like
Well,
catches
I was
our
gonna do
eye?
that after these next 2, like,
Oh,
little
okay.
Russell to the Steelers, and, like, we saw that on the Shannon Sharp with Ocho Cinco, um, talking about Russell, and they're talking between Justin Fields or Russell. And Ocho Cinco is saying that like he's got little birdies, people informants all across the league telling
Yeah.
him it's Russell to the Steelers and Justin Fields to Atlanta. How do you see that? Like for Atlanta, is that the right move for them? Because they also have Redler, who like wasn't terrible, but the coaching staff
And
for
like
it
he's a rookie quarterback. Why would
mhm,
you automatically like look at Peyton Manning's first year? He was
terrible.
yeah, he's I think he has the worst
Worst,
what
like one of the worst
it
QB
was
ratings or
I
something like
think the
that, or
most
yards.
interceptions thrown by a
I thought that was
QB.
Brett Favre that had the most
Oh.
interceptions as a QB.
Well, as a rookie though.
Yeah,
Oh,
as a
okay. Well,
rookie. He
again,
also had an interception to
yeah,
himself.
you just named two of the kind of quote unquote top
Yeah,
10, top 20
quarterbacks.
yeah.
Yeah,
So like you can't just give a guy 1 year
no.
unless you're like holy shit,
Mhm.
like the
Like, this
Johnny
guy's
Manziel.
dog
But like
ass.
I think Johnny Manziel had like what
He had at least 2, 3
two?
years
Yeah, like you had to
before they
give,
fucking cut him.
especially if you're gonna fucking blame everything on the coaching staff and
Mhm.
fire Arthur Wright
Arthur
and
Smith.
Arthur Smith or
Yeah.
whatever the fucking name is. So I don't know. I wouldn't fucking just pull the trigger on Justin Fields
And, like, he
unless
showed promise at least last year a little bit, like, halfway through
Justin
this
or
Justin Fields.
yeah. I
And
mean,
he
like
when the coaches let him play his style of football, they were actually performing. And then
well, he doesn't have a lot of good targets around him.
yeah,
It's
that
another
too.
issue.
And then that was the other thing, like, we saw potential Stephon to the Bears.
And I mean, like if he does go to the Steelers, if either one of them go to the Steelers, I think they have slightly better weapons.
Yeah.
Except for, I mean, Jerry Judy. I'm thinking about Russell.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to run through like both QBs in my head.
And, like, the Bears, not really that many weapons.
No, not
Um,
they don't have like a great defense.
Honestly, I think they should stick with Justin Field and build around him.
Yeah, especially since like because they're looking to pick up who's that one, the Heisman, Caleb.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
Yeah. And everybody's been saying he's a bust. Like,
a lot of people saying like I'm seeing both sides of the aisle where it's like he's going to be the next generational
mhm,
quarterback, and then there's other ones where he's like they're like comparing him to like oh
yeah,
he's not even like a Mahomes like he's
yeah.
so I don't know what
And I watched one game of his, and I'm on the agreement of he's a bust.
really
Um, it just seemed like the people he's playing up against were a lot
wait.
weaker.
Have you seen the video of Cam Newton get jumped?
Oh yes. So
Because we
like
didn't talk
I'd
about
sent
it.
one.
Yeah.
I'd sent one, but it got removed.
If you
So
so like a good if you don't want to hear us talk, if you want a Chisel Adonis is a
mhm,
really good like commentary over it. It
yeah.
is so funny. But yeah, that what do you think of that?
I think that's fucking wild. That
because
he fucking
it
is fighting what 2, 3 people at his own fucking camp.
so it's yeah, the former MVP of the league
Yeah,
is throwing this like I think
the
was it
quarterback
a
camp or something like that.
it's a 7-on-7 tournament.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And like I think two of them were like high school kids and one of them was like a full-on adult.
Yeah,
And like he handles
yeah.
all three of
All
them
three of
very
them.
well.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I mean, he's like 6'7",
yeah.
250.
Mhm.
Like he has to be able to handle himself.
Yeah, and I mean, fucking, like he doesn't go down. He takes the shots.
Yeah,
There's a point where like he's smiling, just like
yeah,
holding them,
yeah.
and
He's like,
he
let's
gets one
fucking
of them to a
go.
point where he's like, I can fuck you up right
Yeah,
now. And he didn't.
yeah.
He just kind of held him to the ground until
I mean,
security
yeah.
came.
And that's a professional way to go
Yeah,
about it. Like
yeah, it's a
he's not
great
out there.
look for
Yeah,
him, but
he defended himself, but not to the point where he's like,
looked in a bad
yeah,
light.
yeah. And but like a lot of people are also talking like, dude, like Tom Brady, like all these other people hold camps and tournaments. You never see that shit happen.
Well, I'm curious on like
What
cause,
started it?
yeah, because it was at Atlanta, and I'm not,
Atlanta.
huh?
It was at Atlanta.
It was Atlanta.
Yeah,
Um, so like I wouldn't immediately go like be the Tom Brady like because like yeah a whole bunch
yeah,
of people do camps and I know like emotional stuff comes
hmm
up but like it looked like it wasn't even in the game.
yeah.
It was
It
like
was on
over
the
by the
side.
ticket
Yeah,
booth and they just ran up on him
yeah.
for no reason.
Maybe like trash talking or something like that.
Maybe they were just big fucking
Yeah,
talking fans and they
they
hated him in
they.
Carolina and I don't know but
And then the other one, fucking 27-mile swim across the
can you pull up that
Molokai
guy?
Channel.
Can we show him up on here? I can't remember his name. I
Um,
think the video that you sent was his Instagram. Can we
yeah,
kind of like peruse that?
if your computer won't stop lagging.
No, stop right now, right there.
Okay,
Yep.
what is it? I don't want to fucking have the sound go.
In just under
Just click on
three
the. Okay, that works. Just click on his
Yeah,
name.
no,
The
I didn't
name.
mute it.
to Penticton.
It's not muting it.
I'm saying like click on his name to his
Yeah.
profile.
Nick Pelletier. He's
Ultra
like,
endurance athlete.
yeah. So like he had swam
Excuse me.
106 kilometers through this fucking giant ass lake. He was receiving a lot of fucking trash talk from like people on the internet fucking talking shit like, dude, you're not swimming in dangerous waters. Like
That
this
was
is an easy fucking
Bert Kreischer said that. It's like
no,
first
and
of all, Bert, shut the fuck up.
even Joe Rogan had said it.
I
Like,
didn't. I thought the clip they just said was like he's like they're just talking about the ocean.
yeah, well,
I think the clip
yeah,
on Joe Rogan wasn't talking smack on them, but he
okay,
was just talking about like how scary and fucking the
yeah,
ocean was, and he's like, okay, then I'll go fucking swim the
yeah.
ocean then if I gotta get some respect in my
But
name.
if you guys are interested, it's gonna be something to watch. His Instagram is NP Adventure. So like his first and last initial,
November
November
Papa,
Papa Adventure. Um,
spell it. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Alpha
No,
Delta
I'm joking.
Echo, Alpha Delta Victor Echo, November Tango Uniform Romeo Echo.
Can you scroll down a little bit? I'm just kind of curious on his profile now. He seems like a kid. Does it show his age? How old is this guy?
I think he's in his 20s.
What the fuck happened there?
I have no clue actually.
Click on that one. Damn, he. Oh, was he doing some just?
Yeah, he's just doing like fucking wild ass shit.
Oh, Wolfie.
Maybe like ate shit.
Yeah, I guess so. Or
Damn, he's really just out here doing
yeah,
everything.
he really is. Are they just showing like how just bored this guy is? My question is, when someone has, it's like, where do you get the money to do this shit, dude?
Sponsors.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. But from the 18th through the 25th of March, he's going to be swimming across the Molokai Channel, 27 miles. Like some of the highest waves,
Sharks
a lot of
and
sharks and like
what
predator
is
infested
keep
waters.
it Ninsbad? Ninsbad? Do you know what that means?
Nope.
Okay.
I think it's probably something related to his channel or something like that he's got going on. But it's
Hmm.
definitely something to watch like if you're interested like super athletes, superhuman people. My question is like, how the fuck do you like rest? Like he's going from the 18th to the 25th.
Usually
That's 7 days.
there's a little boat. They showed a boat that was
Yeah.
next to him. They'll climb in that boat and they'll
Okay.
sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sleep shit. Fucking take a little snack.
Eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hydrate.
And then start off where they fucking left off at.
Pretty much.
And I'm
Yeah.
assuming that little buoy thing that he has is like for
I'm
safety
assuming
things.
that's a marker.
Yeah.
I wonder if that kind of makes it harder because he's dragging whatever amount of
It probably does. It probably
weight
adds a
or
little bit
a
to it.
little bit of drag.
Yeah. But I feel like it's also a safety thing. Like,
Oh, 100% a safety
yeah,
thing. Yeah.
like if something grabs a hold of him or he just like can't keep himself up or something like that.
I don't know. I think it's more of the like if he can't keep himself up,
Yeah.
and probably in a more morbid sense, like,
Mhm.
hey, this is where the body is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the
But
more.
it looks like he has like a team surrounding him.
Yeah.
So like if something bad happens, it's not like he's just fucking just floating out there,
Yeah.
ballooning up.
And then before we hit our final,
Oh, there's a little bit of UFC news. This is kind of stupid in my opinion, but it came out today, so I want to talk to you about it today.
okay.
So former title challenger Jorge Masvidal calls out a former UFC title challenger. Can you guess what title challenger he calls out?
No. I'm not super educated on it.
All right. He calls out Chael Sonnen,
Oh.
the bad guy.
Yeah.
And he's quoted as saying Chael Sonnen would be one guy that I'd love to break his eye orbital. Just because he's such a fucking or a cheating fuck. He's gotten caught with more substance in his body than any other competitor in history. Chael would be somebody that I would love to fuck up. Man, I would just tell him do all the steroids you want. It don't matter. I'm still coming to break your fucking eye orbital, bro. And everyone's just like, who the fuck cares? It's
Yeah.
like who the fuck is he actually gonna go and fight? What's this?
Brackets um for March Madness.
Mm. Are we gonna do one?
We can. Um I just saw bracketology. I wanted to try and see if like they have a prediction for the brackets out yet, and I don't see it. Yeah. We'll just go with rankings for right now. So
Creighton, number 12.
Houston is at number 1, Purdue number 2, UConn number 3, Tennessee number 4, number 5 Marquette, number 6 Arizona, number 7 Kansas, number 8 Iowa State.
Oh, Iowa State went down too.
Yeah, they did. Number 9 North Carolina. I need to talk shit to my boy Luke. Number 10 Duke, Auburn, Creighton, Illinois, Alabama, Baylor, Kentucky, St. Mary's.
All right, I got a question for you.
Hmm.
What's the difference between an AP top 10 and a coach's poll?
So like this is what the coaches are thinking as like who they think is number 1, number 2.
Mm-hmm.
So like all the coaches kind of pull in together and like say who they think is
I mean, it's
best.
pretty close. There's not
Yeah.
a huge discrepancy that I'm seeing here.
Well, Iowa State is different by 2. UConn goes up 1.
Yeah, but it's not like there's not like a lot of huge where
Yeah.
it's like, whoa.
Yeah. They're fairly similar, and
Yeah.
usually the coaches polls, I believe, are usually a little bit more honest about it
Oh,
because
that'd be a little more biased.
well, it's across the league,
Yeah,
across the
no, I get
NCAA,
that.
and it's just like what every coach thinks. Um, yeah, we just pulled up, and they got this is the last week coming up for basketball. We're in week 17, so and it's getting close to the end.
Is there
And then
any games this week that are? Because
oh,
I
we
didn't
can
mind
look.
watching the Iowa one with you. I wouldn't. I think I'm gonna be more invested on teams that I can kind of care about, like you watch Iowa State or watching Nebraska or watching fucking Creighton or
So actually today at 7 p.m., Iowa State plays Oklahoma, but I'm not really. That's not gonna be a game I want to watch. What's Saturday? Iowa State plays UCF. That might be a little bit better one. Yeah. You want to watch Saturdays at 3 p.m.?
I work.
What time do you work?
9 to 5.
9 to 5?
Mhm.
The game would probably be just ending.
9 to 5.
Well, you got K-State and Cincinnati next. That would actually be a pretty good one to watch. Or number 1 Houston, see if they get the upset. Because I don't think we'll be able to get on Big 12 Network. But we can definitely watch this on ESPN.
Well, if we still have Hulu.
I'd have to fucking probably call and finally tell them, like, hey, I'm military.
How long would that take?
Doesn't take that long. I just haven't done it.
You're being a bum about it.
I just need to call. Yeah, I've been a bum about it.
You gotta call them.
Yeah, I gotta call him. All right, so
What
then
about, what about like Nebraska or Creighton?
Nebraska.
Yeah, let's see. I want to see.
You don't even know what conference? Oh, the Big East.
I doubt it. Why are they being?
No, they are in Big East.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, they play at 1:30.
That's on
Saturday.
But what about today? Like
That's on Thursday. They got a game on at 8.
Okay, yeah. While I'm cooking, we'll throw that on.
Okay. FS1.
Okay.
Now, if we don't have it, that's the other question. And then
Call.
I'm trying to game tonight, dude.
Oh my goodness.
I've been really in love with fucking
I'm
Helldivers. No Nebraska coming up. They got Purdue at Michigan or Michigan State at Purdue. That might one. That one we actually should be a good game to watch. For Michigan against Purdue on Saturday at 7. And then before we get into like our final stuff, we'll kind of glance over the UFC.
Well, look at
Because there was a fight night.
Yeah, there's one last week. It was the one at Mexico City, and then there's one coming up this week. Yep, Moreno
Nope.
or Morano. No, or did
Well,
you?
I think I clicked.
You
Yeah,
clicked the app.
it fucking glitched out on me.
It's okay. I love you despite it.
I know.
Hey, speaking about what a great co-host I am, breakfast in bed this morning.
You did.
And you didn't talk about it on here. What with that?
Well, I was gonna keep it private for
Oh
us.
well, I wanted it to be.
You wanted to be known
I wanted to be known.
that you're the first person to ever make me breakfast in bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Breakfast in bed, leads to breakfast.
So it was a split decision at the end.
Yeah, so I didn't end up watching this fight, but according to Brandon Royval and a lot of the other people, apparently they don't really get why it was a split decision. They thought that it was a pretty clear for Brandon Royval. Let me see what the verdict. How verdict has it.
It says 47-48, 49-46, 47-48.
Yeah, but that's the wrong one. So global. Oh, you know what? On global. So it looks like everyone gave round 1, or majority of people gave round 1 and 2 to Lego Boy.
Who's Lego Boy?
Brandon Moreno.
Oh, okay.
3, 4, and 5, with the 5th round looking pretty tight. Honestly, it's pretty close on verdict.
Yeah.
So maybe I won't. I have yet to see the fight because we went to the bars.
Yep.
And
there was a submission before.
Yeah, Yair Rodriguez lost his submission. I saw that clip.
Yep.
Dude, the fucking I don't think I sent a clip in, but fucking when Brian Ortega is warming up, he hurts his ankle.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he's doing like one of these numbers.
Doing the fucking.
And he jumps up, comes down, and he's like,
ooh,
buckles.
Yeah.
And they caught it all like it was
on camera.
It was when they're introducing him.
Yeah.
And like everyone's like, "You're all right," and then he like looks at his coach, and the coach is like, "You're like, it's not hurt. It's
Yeah.
not hurt.
It's not
You're
hurt.
fine."
Shut the fuck up.
And apparently, like, and then he got like absolutely slaughtered round 1.
Yeah.
And then fucking round 2 came back. Round 3, he got the submission in front of his ex, Tracy Cortez, who's a baddie. But
Brian
there's
Ortega got that submission.
yeah, he got the
Yeah.
submission.
He was the one that hurt himself?
He's the one that hurt himself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I left. When did I leave? I'm trying to remember.
It was after.
Oh wait, go down. There's one of the fights. It was that one, the split decision.
Yeah.
That was the second fight.
Oh,
of the night.
yes.
We watched that one. And
We're like, how the fuck is that a split decision?
I remember watching it just like.
And how the fuck did he win?
I'm trying to remember like what I said. I was like, it's probably gonna be like 30-27.
Yeah.
But I was like, they might be 129-28. And I heard like
30-27.
I was like, split decision?
Yeah.
All right, man. Like, fuck, that's really weird, but
yeah, we were all sitting there like
it's probably gonna go to Victor.
Yeah.
And they fucking
they called out for Felipe dos Santos.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I gotta go back and watch it again. But I could have sworn to God that it was fucking pretty one-sided.
It looked one-sided the whole time for Victor.
Someone said what it like, and this is fucking like dude bro science, that since it was in Mexico, it was cartel guys were like paying off the refs. Because like if you think of it, like a lot of the like a lot of people in Mexico are gonna root for the Mexican guy. They're gonna bet their money on the Mexican guy.
And the cartels are trying to get some money out of it.
So they fucking
pay
off
the judges.
Yeah, which I don't think so, but I mean, it's plausible.
Yeah. Well, we're all sitting there like, dude, there's going to be a riot.
I was just like, I was so surprised, and I was very surprised that they didn't throw bottles or anything at Felipe. So,
I think we left after this one or during this.
I left a little bit because I was hanging out with a lady for a little bit, and then I came back. And
no, it was after the Frenchie. I remember the French guy. Fucking, we're watching that, and then.
And then there's one fight that was taken off. It was
this one right here when we left.
Yeah, but then there's a fight on the main card that was supposed to happen fully here. Just move on to the next week because I think they moved it to this next week. Yep, the Rosenstrike versus down, right there. Yeah, how do you pronounce that?
Yes. I'm not even going to attempt
call
it.
him Josh Rosenstrike.
Okay. This is weight.
Yeah, these are these are flyweights. Look at those.
They looking fucking hefty.
Yeah, there is a
hefty.
But scroll down. I could have sworn these ones are pretty good. Card. Oh, are they not? I thought they said they moved it to this. Okay, I was wrong.
Okay.
But yeah, Ricky Torres was supposed to fight Raul Rosas Jr. and that it literally got canceled like day of.
Oh damn.
Yeah. But Josh Rosenstrike, kind of a journeyman of the division. Yeah, that fight, Tyson Pedro's pretty good. Alex Perez and the Muhammad. That guy Muhammad Mosek or
Mokaev.
He always just gets caught up in like random submissions, but never taps. And he was kind of knee barred. Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
A break. There's another fighter.
Fuck. There was one last week that was
Pickett. He's good.
The dude got a guy in a fucking triangle hold with like a leg hold or a submission, or like he brought his head in, got his fucking leg up over the shoulder, and then fucking locked his leg in and fucking submitted him with his like in a triangle hold
last week.
Yeah, I think it was while you were out.
Oh, well, I was out. Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, it was, and like we're all sitting there, and I was the only one that noticed, and was like, "Holy shit!" And like everybody else was like, "Wait, what? The fight's over already?" And I was just like, "Yeah, dude, they fucking put him in a triangle fucking hole."
It's one of those things that like when you don't know what you're looking at, and you see that thing, you're like, "How the fuck did anyone tap to that?"
Yeah.
But then you get put into that position.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
That shit hurts so bad.
Yeah.
It's one of the like submissions that like you're not gonna break a limb,
Mhm.
or I mean, you could, but like it'd be very fucking surprising if you
Yeah.
broke a limb. But yeah, fucking being in those positions, you're always sitting there. You're like fuck,
Yeah,
fuck, fuck,
that's how
fuck,
he
fuck,
was,
fuck,
like,
fuck.
and, like, so the guy had been taking him down pretty, like,
Mm,
consistently throughout the fight, so, like, I think everybody just kinda, like, looked away when he
mm,
went for the takedown in, like, round 2,
yeah.
and so, like, I was still kinda sitting there watching it.
Go back
I
to
forgot
the
who it was.
yeah. We'll find it. It'll say. So down would have been sub. So that guy.
I think it might have been this one?
And that's weird. Naked at the back. If you're looking for
Yeah,
triangle
the
choke,
triangle choke, yeah.
that was probably it right
Yeah,
there.
it was.
Either that. No, the other ones were naked. So yeah, that's probably.
Yeah, this was the triangle hold one. Yeah, he had been fucking going for the takedown pretty consistently. Charas?
Here, can you click on the thing? Oh, they won't show a highlight.
Yeah. But
Sometimes they will.
it was yeah, he'd been going for the takedown pretty consistently.
Let's see. Well, you might be mistaken because they only have one official takedown, and it is for the loser.
Oh, I just remember, like, no, maybe not official takedown, but it like they'd been going to the ground and grappling, I should say.
Maybe it's a different one. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Was it in round one?
Oh, I guess it wasn't round 1.
Yeah, because they barely threw any
Yeah.
strikes.
And then the final one, the final story that I wanted to cover, just kind of like we finish it out.
Uh-huh.
Coaches throughout like your past. Like we saw the one
Uh-huh.
clip of the fucking dude going like hitting like 100-mile-per-hour fucking grounders. He's like, this is why he's the fucking shortstop, because he fucking doesn't do this. And fucking
I'll let you go
coaches.
first
All right, so
because I think my answer is gonna shock you.
so I've had a lot of good coaches
Mm.
more than I have bad ones. I've
Yeah.
always seen them do that shit to like other people
Yeah,
and not so much towards me.
because we were talking about like weird drills that coaches will
Yeah,
do, where it's like, hey, when you're batting, do this,
yeah,
do this.
yeah,
Oh, you feel that? Yeah, you're working out. You're working out
mhm,
this muscle right
yeah.
here, and you're
And you're
like,
like,
okay,
I only got that once at like a baseball camp that I went to.
yeah, you're like,
And it was with the same one that me and Tom both went to, UBA.
yeah.
I went to one,
Mm.
and I immediately went to my dad afterwards. I'm like, this is the fucking dumbest shit I've ever fucking done.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say it like that, but I just said like, this is the dumbest thing.
Like, what am I doing?
And he's even sitting there like, yeah, I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. Like, they did pay money, and like
Yeah.
we got a couple free camps out of it, and so like
Was it like a younger kid? Was it one of those things where like,
they had like college athletes out there with like
yeah,
some of like the coaches and
hmm
like managers. Like they had one.
were they college or were they high school?
So there was college players, high school players going into college.
Okay.
Some of them were prior college. There's one major league
Mm.
guy, but he was just the one kind of in charge of everything. And then, but he was retired too, so he's a lot older. And they had a bunch of like college managers, coaches, stuff like that.
Mm.
Not like the head coaches, but just like,
Yeah.
yeah. And they do that type of stuff like in the off season.
No,
They'll
yeah.
fucking send them out to camps and stuff. And but yeah, like some of the drills that they're having us do, like for outfielders, I'm just sitting there like, this is either super basic or just so retardedly over the top that like, how does
Yeah.
this even effective
Hmm.
for me? Like literally all it was like, yeah, you want to fucking power drive with your leg over when you're chasing the ball, like turning your back. Yeah, that everybody fucking knows that. Like you start learning outfielder stuff at 6 years old. Yeah, you fucking step over and keep your head looking and
Mm.
chase down. That's if it goes over your head, but you always fucking step back first.
I remember when Billy was doing flag football, his two coaches were like the biggest frat bros, and it
Mhm.
was just like, you guys are just here for beer money.
Yeah.
Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing
It's like you
here?
guys are here to say that you volunteer.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
like
much.
for your fucking date. He's like, yeah, I volunteer. Oh,
Yeah.
coach. No big deal.
And they're like trying to run plays, and it's just like,
Yeah.
bro, they are like
You're using the
five.
Madden playbook.
Yeah, they're like 5 or 6. They are not following the
Yeah.
play that you're suggesting.
No, they're just fucking
Because like
running.
he's like, hey man, they'll grab the football. Like you're gonna run, you're gonna
Yeah.
run, grab the ball, run.
Mhm.
And then the kid he grabs it, runs, immediately grabs the flag, like someone else grabs it, and he goes, "All right, great play, great play." It was a game by
Yeah.
like 2, and it's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Fucking
That's like how it was watching my nephew play too.
yeah.
It's just like the quarterback gets fucking confuzzled whenever he's pressured. And he's just like, "Yeah," or he just gets scared. And like
Yeah.
it's just like, and then he's throwing it to nobody, and you're just
Mm.
like, dude, your guys are going over the top
That and
with some of the
T-ball,
plays.
holy dog
Yeah.
shit. Like younger kid sports, like
It's good to get him like
no, yeah,
involved,
yeah,
but
yeah, I
like,
get it. But like watching those
yeah,
games, like playing those games as a kid,
yeah,
ton of fun. But when you're watching it, you're just like, holy fuck shit.
yeah,
This cannot go any fucking
hmm
longer. And this fucking
yeah.
metal bleacher is hurting my ass.
And like the few times I've gone to my nephews, I'm like, I am too hungover for this.
Yeah.
Like,
You're just,
I
oh.
now understand like the memes and jokes of like showing up to like their kids' games, like drinking with like mimosas and stuff, and they're just like, I needed this. Like, holy shit, it is Saturday at fucking 8 a.m. I had to
The
wake up at
the
5:30.
sun is bright and shiny. It is
There is too much
humidity of like
noise.
30%. I'm fucking.
Date night went too wild last night. We were hammered the whole time.
You might have a little sister come in. Who knows?
It's like we might have more fucking T-ball games to go to.
Yeah. I'm just
Yeah.
preparing. Most of my coaches growing up were females.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for soccer, it was like a family friend. Her name was Coach Sammy. Um, and I had her for like, cause that's the sport my mom started us out
Mhm.
on with soccer.
Yeah.
And
I think most kids
then
usually start off on soccer. I
yeah,
didn't because
yeah,
my feet coordination, not fucking there. All my
really,
siblings though, great soccer players.
that's decent, you know.
Um,
Uh,
my brother, when we lived in England, had apparently been scouted by an Italian international team. And like my brother he was still 17, and he was
yeah,
trying to convince my mom to let him like go to this
yeah.
camp and move to Italy, but she was not having it.
Mm,
And she was like,
oh,
"No, you're not
sure.
fucking doing it. Like gonna like you're not even
You're
graduated
ruining
from
my
high school
dream.
yet."
Yeah.
It's like, and every now and then he pops up the joke, just like, "Well, I could have been an international fucking soccer star, but no,
Yeah.
mom wouldn't let me fucking go to a camp." Um, yeah. So you start off with soccer.
Yeah, soccer. And like it was fine. I don't even remember like doing drills. I just remember doing
Mhm.
like scrimmage on top of scrimmage and just
Yeah.
like okay, running and like passing with like your buddy.
Mhm.
And then like when I grew up in like when I went to baseball, coach pitch, like I had it was just like fucking good old country boy. Like they only fucking favored their sons,
Yeah.
and like if you were to coach his
Mhm.
son, or especially if it was like your first year, and I remember it
Yeah.
was by age, and I believe it was like a kind of one of those gap things where it's like, hey, you can like it was like maybe like 8 to 10 or
Mhm.
something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But just like me being so young and like I was fucking overlooked. And
Mhm.
then we went to Quantico. I had did I have the same coach both years? No, I don't think so. Maybe I did. Anyway, but yeah, it was a female
Mhm.
baseball coach because her daughter was in softball. So like they just taught us like
Mhm.
softball stuff,
Yeah.
but like with a baseball.
Yeah.
So it worked. I mean, they were cool. They
Mhm.
had a son who was on the team who was like the pitcher, and he was pretty solid, but
Mhm.
like they did a good job of like I felt like at times like
Yeah.
collecting their son, like,
Yeah.
hey, you got it.
Yeah.
And dude, they had their daughter was like a college, and she was a babe,
Yeah.
bro. Fucking babe. So like
You're
all
sitting
the
there
fucking
7th
guys are
grade.
like, yeah, just like I'm gonna crank this out to
It's
her,
like,
bro. I mean,
I'm going to orbit.
yeah, and then I'm gonna like bring the baseball out.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we never did. Like I remember watching teams do those like and just like, what are they
Yeah.
doing? And I remember being like, it's just like, am I gonna do that? Am I
Yeah.
gonna be doing
Yeah.
like dumb shit like that? And it never showed up. So
Mhm.
I was really lucky to not
Yeah.
have like the coach who's, but
Mhm.
like whenever I was on the first baseball team, the coach pitch,
Yeah.
the like, hey, you gotta,
Gotta attack the ball.
you gotta ball.
They fucking do the whole head jerk thing to it.
And they always wore the fucking visor,
Yeah.
bald as fuck on head,
Yep.
and the rest was fucking filled with hair.
Yeah. Um, the majority of my coaches though were basketball because I played basketball the majority of my time.
Yeah.
At least what I remember, like in football and baseball, we mostly just played. Like
Yeah.
that's pretty much all it was. Like you warmed up a little bit with your position coach.
Yeah, just a little bit of
Yeah.
yeah.
And then you went out and just played. Whether for like baseball, you just went out on the outfield while someone does BP and then you rotated out. For football, we'd spend the first 30 minutes of practice doing warm up drills or like 15 minutes. And then the next 30 was um like for me it was quarterback drills or like sometimes if they wanted to focus on defense, I did my safety. And at the end of practice I do my punting practice. And my QB coach was also my punter coach because it's high school sports. We don't have
No.
yeah. Um but yeah, for football, like he taught me probably one of the best like throwing exercises that I've ever had for like warming up. And it's just starting like stationary and you just stationary at like 5 yards, like someone.
Coach Mo though, the weight coach,
Mhm.
he's pretty legit.
Yeah, he was an offensive line coach. He was my brother's head coach
Oh
because
really?
it was the year Foreman died.
Yeah, the guy
Free, yeah,
they named the field after him,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
The year prior, um, he was the offensive line or the assistant coach, and then he became the head coach when my brother was playing. Um, and then that's also how he caught varsity too.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's good to know someone at least.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, for quarterback, like I learned probably some of the best drills from Coach Schumacher.
Yeah.
Old Schumacher.
Yeah. What do they call him? Like Big Shoe or
Yeah,
something
Big
like
Shoe.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then Little Shoe was his son, who
Yeah.
was offensive and defensive line coach,
Mm.
and then on the varsity team he was just defensive.
Yeah.
And then Coach Shoe was offensive for varsity. Um, but yeah, like I had a pretty good time though. Like having him as a quarterback coach, he taught me a lot of different things that I'd never learned before. There were seen growing up or like just watching football that I just did on my own in the backyard. But yeah, punting was where like I was sitting there like, damn, I'm actually pretty fucking good at this. And even the varsity coach was like, hey, you,
When's the last
once
time you kicked a football?
I've kicked a football when I was at BLC. I did a little bit of punting because we played some pickup football there. And for kickoffs, we had a high enough like overhang that I could actually punt. And I was still doing pretty good. Obviously, it was like I had one really bad kick right at the start, and they're like, "You're not doing it again." It was just like it was like, no, like trust me, like
Take those games like we're like, all right, we're gonna punt it, we're gonna kick it off. Kick.
yeah,
Hey, we're just gonna throw it. We're just gonna
yeah,
throw the ball. Either that or like, can we just start on the one?
yeah.
Like,
And I was just like, I said, no, let me get another shot. Like that did not show off my true form, and then I really fucking bombed it. Um, I bombed it, hit on their side of the fucking ceiling, and
oh, is it
bounced like
indoor?
it was not indoor. It had like an overhang, um, of like an awning kind of deal, where like the sides were open, but it just had a giant roof and like a turf field.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah,
The army's starting
I can't even like fucking picture.
the army's starting to move that way for like that kind of stuff for like PT test
Uh huh.
because they found like
Is more
a lot of
control or
yeah, a little bit more control, like especially on the sprint drag carry. A lot of people are complaining about like either there's grass resistance or the fucking dust or there's fucking holes and shit. Like people get really competitive about it
But here's
because
like that's
it goes for promotion points.
I get that,
Yeah,
but like if you're doing it in a real life situation,
yeah.
like
This is Garrison Army, not thinking about like tactical
okay,
or like this is Garrison, not Army speak in the rear, like not deployed or forward
uh-huh.
instead of like being for like I understand that part and it makes sense to me like on why you wanted to have like
It'd be
but
fair for everybody.
yeah
I get it too.
and also mitigate risk of injury too.
And I get that. Yeah, I 100% get it. But like,
Like it's turned out great because at pretty much every army installation you go to, you at least have some rain cover. So like if you want to play
mm,
sports or something like that after work, yeah, you have to fucking trudge through the rain, but at least there's a fucking covered area to play some sports for a little bit.
yeah, I
And
mean,
yeah. Um yeah, like hunting, But for basketball coaches, I had a couple that probably taught me the most for basketball stuff that led me
Wasn't your
into.
dad a coach for you?
He was for one season, like fourth grade.
Mm.
Um, a lot of my teammates did not like him as a coach. But it was also one of the few seasons we actually had a really good season too.
Why didn't they like him? Just hard?
Just hard on them. They weren't ready for it. They're soft victims.
Just a victim.
Um, but yeah, like we actually had a pretty good. That was like our first time having a good season too.
Mm.
And I was just like, he's a good coach, and they're like, yeah, but he's hard. So I was like, yeah, we have to run if we fuck up, but like
Yeah.
that happens everywhere you go when you have a coach. Um,
So you just had like a
soft team,
yeah.
yeah. And then uh one dude, we went up a grade because we didn't have enough players for like our grade to like for men's because our class was really small for guys.
Yeah.
So we'd have to combine classes. So we went up a grade, and one of his son was on the team, but he did a pretty good job of like making sure it wasn't like showing favoritism. He
Yeah.
actually pushed his son a lot harder than he pushed anybody else,
Mm.
and you could tell sometimes it kind of got to his son too.
Yeah, that always happens.
Especially like between me and him, we were the tallest and the more athletic of the team.
Mm.
And the consistency, and then you'd have your role players on the outside. And so like he'd always kind of pitch me and him against each other from like when I was in 5th grade all the way through 7th grade. And then 8th grade year, uh, we had another buddy's dad, be the coach, and he did a pretty good job. Like his son wasn't the most athletic, but and he played it strategically. Like he wanted to get his son in there, but it was only if like we were really like
I'm trying to remember.
winning.
I don't think my dad ever coached me, but I think he coached Aaron at a very young age. If my dad was a coach,
Yeah.
I do not remember him coaching me ever.
My dad actually did coach a game when I was playing for Gross Catholics select team. I made their A team. Don't want to brag, but it was also a pretty small camp.
Yeah,
So
it's like Catholics.
yeah. It was still a pretty small camp, but like our coach didn't show up, and it was like right around Christmas time, and so like a lot of people who were going to be there ended up not being there because like sick or like family stuff going on. So we had 4 players going up against the #1 team in the league right around Christmas time and no head coach. And we actually kept it a very competitive game. My highest scoring game of 30 points. I hit like 4 threes. And like that was my first time ever being really consistent with 3-point shooting. And I'm sitting there like, I'm having the best game of my life and no one's fucking here to see it. But like it's like someone fucking I went up for a rebound and someone fucking undercut me. Like I'm up in the air and he took out my fucking legs.
Oh,
And I
gotcha.
fell like straight on my back. Made my technical foul shots. Yeah, it was probably my best game. I had like I think I had a triple double. So like scores were double digits, rebounds double digits, assists double digits. That's a triple double, which like for like if I was an NBA player, like game of my life right there.
Yeah,
But
okay, gotcha.
yeah. You very rarely see triple double happen. Yeah, that was the other time my dad coached. And he took it and he came up with a pretty good strategy for having 4 players and having no bench and like planning out his timeouts to like give us rest. And he'd only do like the full 1 minute timeouts instead of the 30 minutes because like you guys need to have a breather. Here's my plan for like how to strategize it. And we kept it a pretty close game, even though we were going up against #1 and didn't have our star players. And yeah. It was pretty good, and they were like sitting there like, "You guys did pretty good. You kept it competitive." When they came back for practice the next week, like, good on you guys. uh, yeah, and there was one other coach when I played for Bellevue West junior team. I'm forgetting his name, but he probably taught me the most like post big man moves that I used in my arsenal that just brought me to a whole different level to my game that I didn't have before. He just taught me a whole bunch of different shit. And they were like good moves that I still use today. And like I play like I got told when I was playing in Kentucky, they're like, dude, you play like an old man. They're just like you don't move around a lot. You're just gonna sit underneath the basket and you fucking bully your way through and get baskets. I'm like, well, that's how I've been taught to fucking play my whole life.
That doesn't sound like a good thing. Like, that doesn't sound like a compliment.
Oh, it's because you don't see it a lot. Like everybody's gonna go for like the athletic, the show off moves and stuff like
Mm.
that, and like breaking people's ankles and stuff like that. Like I've never been that player.
Mhm.
I'm more of a body positioning over basketball handling type of basketball player. Yeah, and just using my strength and size.
Hmm.
But yeah, that
Would you coach? Would you coach your sons or daughters,
I'd want to
depending on the sport? So like
basketball, football, and baseball definitely.
golf. They're like, I want to play golf, dad.
I've I'm not that good. Like
Daughters like, I want to be gymnastics. Like,
I'd take him, and I fucking if
mm,
I had the funding, I'd try and get him as best coaching as I could. Like if
mm,
that's really their fucking dream,
mm.
I'll support them on that. Like whatever sport,
But
even if
you're like, sorry, baby, I'm not gonna.
yeah, like I'm not gonna be able to coach. Like I
Mm,
don't know the sport. I'm not
yeah,
educated on
but
it.
you wouldn't try to learn it to,
I'd learn it to understand so that like
yeah, but
maybe I can find
not at a level to like,
yeah
yeah, okay.
to like be able to coach, and maybe like just through watching them like learning it, maybe
Mm,
I get to that level where like I could coach him. But for certain, I could definitely teach basketball, football, baseball.
mm,
Um, I'm definitely at a beginner level.
yeah,
I'd have to relearn a whole lot of stuff,
yeah.
and like because for me, like it's a lot of just secondhand nature now for like the more intermediate to
I
like
wouldn't mind being like an assistant coach,
yeah,
a little side piece
mhm,
action, but definitely not head
yeah.
coach.
Because like I've always been more for my coaching style and like how I see the court. I always see the bigger picture and like
Mm.
look for like the small stuff. Um, fuck, I forgot who I was telling. Like there was this one guy that we're playing, and this guy had a super weird like shot form, and it's like always like off to his like right hand side, and like he fucking it was a very quick shot too,
Mm.
but he doesn't jump much, and it's a straight up. And I just told him like, yeah, you fucking put your left arm up like this at an angle and run up on him, you're gonna get the block every time. Like if you just put it up right there, you're gonna stop his shot.
Mm.
And he started doing it like after he got burned a couple times, and I told him again like, hey, watch that fucking right hand. You put it up there, he's not gonna fucking shoot it, or you're gonna get the block.
Mm.
And he started doing it. He was like, that was actually a pretty good fucking call out. I don't know why I didn't listen to begin with. And I was just like, yeah, just looking for like the small things, looking for tendencies. I've been very good at noticing that kind of stuff.
Mm.
And even like fellow teammates, I'll just like say something like, hey, he does this a lot. Like, pay attention to it. If you see it, here's how I would approach it. I'm not as
Mm.
talented as you, but
But
yeah. And that's, I know I'm not as talented as a lot of other people, and that'd be like where I find it hard to coach because if someone is more talented, they're gonna have the ego and be like,
yeah, but I mean, if you look at a lot of like great coaches,
"Mhm,
like they're traditionally not great
yeah,
players. So it's just having like the different eye.
yeah. And I think it's just like the strategy part and like the
Yeah.
small tendencies and stuff like that.
Mm.
Yeah. I actually, for not having a whole lot to fucking go off with sports news, I think
Yeah.
pretty good episode. I'd like to thank you guys all for coming. I'm Matty Light, joined by Matty Heavy. Thank you guys for coming to the MattCast.